Over the last 10 years, I've worked in many Islamic countries. I have Western friends that married Muslims, and they've had to convert to Islam.
Definitely, as our baby will be Muslim, I've said to Taha, things you can't just change a religion overnight.
Of course.
Learn
Yeah,
things. So
course.
I always
And I don't
go
want
to
her
you.
to take any action now of my religion. I want her to convert because she's lover. Because
He cannot push her anything about, like, he already knows it's the forbidden, he cannot push it.
You know, I like the way they had this conversation, this episode regarding Nicole and Taha. Obviously, you know, she's pregnant, they're married, and obviously they did have the conversation throughout the season regarding, you know, a religion. Is she going to convert or is she not? There was definitely a lot of mixed messages given to us audience of whether or not she was going to do it. It felt as if she was more swayed to not wanting to convert. And also when it came to living in the UK versus living in Egypt, it was always swayed more of them staying in the UK rather than Egypt. In this episode, they had a more grounded conversation about the fact that they do look to potentially move to Egypt, well, purely because living in Turkey is just living in Turkey. I've never been there myself in particular, you know what I mean? But I can imagine it's just a very quiet place. And of course, at the same time, the weather will be so much more beneficial in Egypt. So right now, I do feel like as if they are now more on the edge of potentially moving to Egypt in the future. But also on top of that, when it comes to this conversation about religion, I like the fact that he's speaking about it in terms of this is not something that will be forced upon Nicole. This is something that she would choose to do. But at least they've already agreed that their child will be Muslim. But at least that's one headache out of the way. Do I see her converting at some point in her life? Probably, yeah.
from UK, you have to ask your mom and dad first about you have to marry me before we meet each other. And she told me, but that's too hard. And I told her, yeah, but I told you I'm hard.
So did you guys get married just to sleep together?
No, of course not.
So just to break up, obviously here, you know, Tara is simply talking about how before him and Nicole could actually, you know, meet again, and for them to even start a relationship, marriage had to be the thing, you know? And because obviously they felt connected like that, they decided to get married, which does explain why they rushed their marriage, because obviously throughout the season, it didn't make sense why they got married, because there was a lot of things about themselves that they didn't know. So he's like, why get married and then discover these things after? So obviously, I guess this is a part of his culture in Egypt, not the whole of Egypt. This is just part of his side of it. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, listen, personally, would I want to be in that type of situation? Hell to the freaking no. I want to know who my woman is before I marry her. But of course, for these two, they decided to take the leap of faith because it just felt right. So that's why John then asked the question, so did you get married just to have intimacy? Don't get me wrong. Personally, I feel like that question is quite dumb and also very disrespectful to the fact that he's explained that this is what we do in my religion. But hey, some people like John just want to be difficult for the sake of being difficult. Like, what the hell?
Why?
Because in Egyptian culture, you don't date.
It's not rushed as well. It's like you can engage first.
And there we go. So explain. It's kind of annoying because this could have been explained throughout the season, but of course they leave certain things out for our own entertainment. So it is what it is. At least it was cleared up. You're obviously in the tell also, at least it's a more clear indication to why their storyline was the way it was. So generally speaking, they probably have one of the most solid relationships that we've seen in a very long time on 90 Day Fiancé as a franchise worldwide as a whole, not just, you know, the UK version as well as the US version itself in particular. But nonetheless, though, let's crack a lack with the next couple.
Be home. I take Newie's daughter to school every morning, so I've got responsibilities. You know, has made.
I mean, listen, it's good to know that Tony's now, you know, not the same Tony that we saw in the season, because the Tony that we saw in the season was definitely unsettling at some scenes.
Me a better man, and I'm a lot happier for it.
Out of the building and to make them come back in because they didn't say hello to you, I find that disrespectful. Make you feel if a man disrespected your sister like that.
Oh, no, I'd be upset, and I'm upset and angry at myself.
Yeah.
One of the key things that John does highlight in this episode is that upon watching the season, he understands how his attitude just was not acceptable, and that's something that's allowed him to grow and to become a better person, which is a good thing.
But I've spoken to people, and they kind of think, well, it's maybe just your military way of talking.
You're crying.
You know, you can couch it and say, oh, it was me acting in a bit of a military way.
The thing is, that behaviour to a woman, and a very tiny woman, that isn't acceptable.
That was
Completely agree. It's far from acceptable. Far from acceptable. So it's good that he's been pulled up on it as well.
over that, we've got stronger.
But you've said that he has been drinking recently.
He drinks before. He drink like 10 beer, and now he just 1 or 2. So you know, we are trying to be the boss. So, but the one thing he cannot control, drink.
I mean, it's good to know that, of course, when it comes to the drinking itself is now under control more than it was before, because, of course, the drinking was their biggest issue in their relationship. So it's good that that has happened. Also, just for context basis, they have now officially moved to the Philippines, but I guess they flew back to the UK to be a part of the terror, but the Philippines is their home.
Yes, she's tiny, but she's a strong-minded girl, believe me. And if Nui didn't want to be with me, I know she's strong enough to walk away. I've always been quite immature in life. Nui's actually taught me a lot. Yes, it's late on in life that I have become responsible. Let's just say me and Nui never worked out.
I mean, listen, it's always good to hear that somebody has become responsible, somebody has now decided to mature. And to be fair, as a man, it's hella cool to hear that a woman came in your life and gave you that impact, because that's a rare thing for many men in this world. So, yeah, that's how you know Nui is definitely a good one.
For meeting her, never worked out.
Yeah.
I would still be the better man for meeting her. Come across has helped me a lot, and it's probably the best kind of medication you can have. How I've not put, you know, the person I love the most to be the most important person in my life and put them first.
I mean, listen, I love to see it. It's great to see that there's been a lot of growth from Tony himself in particular. There's been a lot of growth within their relationship, and they are both now in a position where their relationship is stronger than it's ever been. So happy days, honestly, absolutely happy days for them both. But hey, let's move on to the next couple.
What do you think?
My honest opinion? No. He really does. You know, he needs someone sort of like caring.
Do you like Kathleen, Andy?
For what I'm seeing, I'm not impressed.
To be fair, nobody was impressed with Kathleen. I mean, at first, when the season started, I was under the impression that Andy, you know, his mum was going to be the biggest issue of their relationship not working, but she wasn't. She was far from the issue. It was literally Kathleen throughout the whole time.
Sending money? Why?
Are you still sending money, Jamie?
I did do it quite recently, but Asian culture is like a lot different to the UK one.
But you work hard for your money and it just seems such a shame.
I do agree with the mum, you know, just because you met someone from a different country who may be going for a struggle doesn't mean that you have to be obliged to want to send the money just because you feel sorry for them, because it doesn't seem as if he was sending the money because he loves her or because he wants to or whatever. It's more of a case of, well, this is where she's from, so I have to. So he's making it sound as if she's basically a charity case, which therefore in that situation, sending the money definitely should have never been a thing. You know, because his intentions to send the money are obviously coming from the wrong place, if you ask me.
In an apartment, and I actually didn't know whether I trusted her or not. Money on the side with some jewellery, just to see if it would still be there when I came back. It was there. The money was there.
I mean, listen, the cast member wasn't happy with the fact that the mum did that, nor was Jamie. But personally, sometimes in life, you got to do what you got to do to make sure you can trust somebody. And because money has been such a big thing around Kathleen, I don't blame the mum. Was she right to do the method that she used? Subjective. It depends on who on how you want to look at it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, at least she got her answer to know that Kathleen wasn't someone who's a thief.
And I'm pleased I'd done it.
I wasn't very happy about it. It wasn't very nice.
You love Kathleen. Maybe Kathleen love you, but maybe love not enough for protect your feeling.
Precisely. Listen to what she's telling you. You got to protect your feelings over love. Love sometimes can be the weapon that destroys your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Was Jamie cheating or not?
I don't think you should have chosen the best friend maybe to have had that little relationship with, but no.
Yeah, Sam is so right.
You know, there's a bit of girl code maybe, but it happened, you've owned it, and now she needs to just either finish the relationship or...
True, Jamie.
I mean, listen, the grand scheme of it, he wasn't... I mean, listen, to be honest, whether he was cheating or not, Kathleen, it doesn't change how Kathleen is behaved. I generally do believe the way Kathleen behaved in this season is probably how she was behaving prior to the whole cheating thing.
That Kathleen has been seen with a mystery man.
Actually get the whole truth.
Into Tess a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she saw, it's the time I actually sent money and she was going into the Western Union, like laughing and joking around and everything, getting like quite close. And apparently this guy has sent her flowers in the past.
Now, let's just let that sink in. If you were somebody who was dealing with somebody that sent you stuff in the past, would Kathleen be happy about it? Would she be giving the energy that you're giving her? Would she be giving this type of benefit of the doubt? You can argue and say that she has by staying with him at this moment in time, but she really hasn't, because she's only treated him less than. And that's just that. She's been nothing but a headache.
She told me that it's just a friend. He's already married in the Philippines.
I'm just going to deny it anyway.
But then
Deep down in your heart, do you feel Kathleen loves you?
I feel there is a love there.
So basically the answer is no, because if you did feel like she loved you, well then your answer would have been yes, yeah, I do believe that. But saying that the love is there, that's not good enough. You are literally playing with your own heart.
I really, really do, because she's still very caring. I just feel that she's just very quite a cold person. So it's not her because she doesn't love me. I think there's a bit of coldness that I want to give this relationship a go with Kathleen.
So sad for a man who has such low self-esteem. Of course he's going to give her a go, when in reality he doesn't need to give her a go. If anything, it should be her asking him for a go, not the other way around. You just found out that, well, you knew that she was seeing with another dude and you decided to believe her for it? Come on now. What? Because you thought that maybe she's trying to do tick for tack? That's not healthy.
I think she doesn't trust you. I don't really think she's that into you. Her body language definitely shows that she's not interested.
There you go, Charlotte hit the nail on the head. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to their relationship, it's done out here. It's pointless. Just let it go and move on. Don't waste your time with somebody that doesn't want to appreciate you. You know what I mean? Somebody that just wants to take you for granted, and somebody that just wants to sit on whatever you've done in the past, which technically you haven't really done. But at the same time, though, Kathleen is definitely built for more of an alpha type of man. I just don't think Jamie is the alpha type that she looked for. You know, I don't feel like he's manly enough for her personally. You know, she definitely needs someone else with a bit more of an edge. Someone's going to basically not put her in a play, but somebody who can be a lead in the relationship. Yeah, let's just say that. Masculine. Yeah. Nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next couple.
We are in an argument or we are upset about something, Sprite always brings up the fact, you know, how successful he is and how much money he makes at work. It always makes me feel like, you know, he's in charge of everything that I do and he's my boss.
I mean, listen, to be honest, when financials becomes a conversation in a relationship, usually things aren't looking good.
On you, I left you. I go find a rich man. Already, I'm still with you. I help you grow.
Like, I'm very confused by you two because you're just treading water.
You know, when he says I help you grow, I mean, listen, I do believe that Sprite does have intentions of trying to get the best out of John, but at the same time, if John is happy with where he's at, Sprite has no choice but to just accept him for who he is. He can't force someone to improve certain things that they don't care about.
You're just treading water.
Make you feel a certain type of way, but there has to be give and take in every relationship. You've got to find that middle ground.
Anything? You're not saying anything? It's just so difficult because like watching everyone is saying is making sense.
It's funny because you see at the tail, John came with a lot of energy, a lot of big boy energy, and now he's out here crumbling. But it's good though, but obviously he needs to be vulnerable to the truth of the fact that the relationship may not be as strong as he would imagine it to be or as much as he would like.
And it's making me scared that it's going to be reality, right? So much. And everyone's just saying that, you know, we're not right for each other. We're a ticking time bomb. We're treading water. I mean, like when we fight, yeah, I hate it. But don't focus on those things. They just focus on all the shit that we do to each other. And that's what makes me, you know, feel like how are people? It's true, Sprite.
To be honest, it seems to me as if John allows outside interference to affect him too much, because he spoke about how, you know, people were giving reviews on social media and XYZ about their relationship. It's something that definitely affected him. Listen, if your relationship is solid, then it doesn't matter what anybody says. You're not going to let it to define anything. So the fact that he's allowing it means two things. One, he's a sensitive person, and two, he knows that his relationship may not be as strong as he would like it to be, because he knows that Sprite doesn't exactly accept him completely for who he is. And that doesn't sit right with him. And that's why John should walk away.
I mean, it's difficult, you know, to separate what people are saying to what's so overwhelming.
They obviously love each other so much. Yeah. And, you know, I'm sure they'll be fine. They just need to really find that middle ground between
making.
I don't believe the middle ground is going to happen, because Sprite he's always going to be traditional to who he is as a person based on where he's from. And that's just that. I don't see that changing.
All the sacrifices. And if he's not careful, he's going to end up losing himself.
People out there, they really don't know anything about us. They only see one side. And we, the one who really know the truth.
That is true. That is true. But despite knowing the truth, John still knows the other truth. And the other truth is that you two aren't that strong.
Let's keep in mind at the first place, okay?
In England, we take fat as an offensive word.
Okay, because I'm growing up, my dad has like diabetes and everything, very unhealthy. My mom saying to him to lose diabetes and everything. That is how like my dad passed away, like just right away.
So of course, this is obviously addressing the fact that he would like John to lose some weight. And obviously he speaks about his dad, which, listen, I get it. But at the same time, though, I will say this, though. If you know that diabetes or the fear of somebody getting diabetes that you care about is something that's going to trigger you, really and truly, there's no point of you being with somebody that is overweight and somebody that, you know, may be on that journey, because You can't expect to come in someone's life and, like I said before, and try and change them or better them. The grand scheme of it is that this is a situation, this is a crack that you have in your relationship, and he needs to recognize that he should have gone for somebody who was already in a healthy position, somebody that already has their health where they needed to be, not to enter someone's life who doesn't even care about their health, to then try and convince a person to care about their health. That's another reason why this relationship isn't going to work. Trust me when I tell you, if you don't want to be with someone that is overweight, don't be with someone overweight. Don't just be with them because they're a lovely person and then expect them to then change that part of them. You know, but changing something a part of us is something that we have to want for ourselves. No, it doesn't matter what people say. So that's why Sprite messed up. Again, another reason why they shouldn't be together. They're both at two different stages in their life that just is not compatible, in my opinion.
And they just talked to my dad like earlier in the evening, why he's gone. I mean, I don't want this to happen again. This is why I feel really stressed, and I just want, like, I told John to like eat healthier. I don't want the same thing. But this has happened. You care about me or not?
Either way, though, it's not for you to put it onto John.
Strongly and deeply that John must take care of himself because of what's happened to you. That's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. It's very tough when you.
Yeah, it's understandable that is why they should not be together, and that's just my honest opinion on it. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next couple.
Are you getting a divorce?
Well, I have asked for a divorce because he can divorce me just like that without me even knowing.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, and he said, congratulations, you'll be a free woman in 10 days. I messaged him and said, is it finished now? Are we done? And he went, oh no, it's 10 days after you pay for it.
Wow. Imagine trying to get away from the man that scammed you, for then him to continue to try and scam you again. You have to pay me to get the divorce. That is crazy work. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Wow.
Charlotte, how many girls did you actually discover that Johan was kind of playing around with, let's say?
I know now that he was actually messaging probably about 50. Yeah,
Let that one sink in. That's a big 5-0 right there. God damn.
She started digging.
But 50 is a lot, isn't it? Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, because I thought he was just for me.
Your relationship with Johan?
It was like a flirt, so he made me feel really good.
Johan?
He was asking me to go with him in his room, to go to the theater, and so finally the last night I said, okay, I'll do it.
You know what, though? It's actually quite crazy that they managed to get one of the ladies to be on the show, you know what I mean? But credit to them. Obviously, the woman doesn't want herself to be revealed, which is respectful, you know what I mean? But hey, let's continue.
I don't know what details I should say.
Did you realise that Johan was in a relationship at the time when you met him?
Of course not. He told me he was single.
How does that make you feel, Charlotte?
Mate, keep your dick in your pants.
She's not lying, but sadly with him, though, it wasn't even about his wee-wee. It was more about what he was getting from these women. Listen, he basically made himself into a gigolo.
Take you to the theatre, Charlotte?
Oh, yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes, he did. Every girl he's met,
yes,
he takes to the theatre, not to watch anything, but to have sex.
Did you find out about Charlotte?
Charlotte posted on social media a picture of Johan saying, it's my husband. He was happy to see her finally because I knew he was with someone because when I sent him money, he gave me his phone number.
Yes.
Oh, diabolical.
The picture of both of them appeared like Johan and Charlotte forever, so I told him, who is Charlotte? He told me about the roof of his mother's house that needed to be repaired. Even after that, it was like, my mom's sick.
So, spinning exactly the same story. The roof, the grandmother needs medicine.
I can't imagine how crap I would feel if I was in Charlotte's position. This man's been running the same game in every woman, and she was happy to be the woman that one of the women that ended up falling for it and also marrying him. She must feel like a complete freaking mug.
What can I say? What an absolute prick. Family were like, you know, she's so nice, she can do this for us, do this. They just wanted to use me for...
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we all told you this, which obviously doesn't really matter. But at the same time, your family told you this, your friends told you this. You didn't want to listen, which is fine. But the only thing that I didn't like about Charlotte in this tale is that she was really projecting her relationship on everybody else, which is something that you're going to see a lot in the next couple that we're about to also watch, which happens to be Sam and Ali. Because, boy, yeah, that one definitely gets... gets interesting. But nonetheless, though, I'm happy that Charlotte obviously finally has got away, and you know the divorce is something that is going to happen at some point. So you know, shout out to her on that one. I wouldn't mind seeing Charlotte again for another season personally. You know, seeing her trying to pursue someone. I mean, to be honest with you, I would like to see the UK get a spin off. You know, obviously right now we've got just 90 Day Fiancé. It'd be nice if we get 90 Day Fiancé, the single life, the UK version as well. But I guess it comes down to recruiting people to be actually be on the show, which obviously it can't be easy. So yeah, but nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next and last couple.
Sometimes then.
Definitely. He is surrounded by girls all day.
Ali has a lot of traits that Johan would do.
Yeah, so we are married.
Well, congratulations to them.
Put it out there, his family paid for everything.
Wow.
I contributed a dress, and that was it.
You see, I find that to be very, very key to everything else that happens moving forward, because if the family's going to pay, that's usually a big thing. Families don't pay for weddings aren't a big thing and aren't real.
I think I'm going to have to ask it because it kind of is my business just for the visa.
No, definitely no. If I just married to...
Kind of is my job. Are you in this just for the visa?
No, just married to her for visa. Why I married to her? I'm gonna marry to her older and richer, like at 80 years old.
I don't think so. What I love about you guys is that you've got so much good communication between you two, and I just wish it was like a snippet of me and Kathleen's situation.
Yeah, I mean, the communication is all right.
Experience, it sends alarm bells for me. I see a lot of personality similarities with me and Sam, Johan and Ali. You know, he's surrounded by women all the time.
Ali, it's just been, like, I know his every move, and that's what you've not seen. If we're not texting, we're on FaceTime. If we're not on FaceTime, we're on other social. Always something, and I know his every move.
I don't know if that's a healthy thing, though. You know, I mean, like, do you know if he's ever moved because you two are just that naturally cling to each other, or because it's something that you had to put into place to make sure you knew that he wasn't doing anything else? That's the question. You know what I'm saying?
However, he does have my international bank card, what I do use when I'm in Turkey, or if he needs to use the bus and stuff, so it'll come up that he's up on the bus.
Charlotte, you don't look very impressed.
To be fair, she does say that obviously each time he uses the card, it will come up on her phone that he's used the card. So at least she knows when he uses the card and what he uses it for. You know what I mean? So that's not something that I'd be so like, oh, he wants the money, you know, because she can see everything. He can't use it without her. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously we all know when our card's being used, but obviously, you know, some of us get notifications. Like for me, when I use my card, I get notification that I've just used my card. This is what I'm saying. And that's something that everybody should use. You know, it should have set up on their phones, especially if you're giving your card to somebody else to use when you're not there. You know what I mean?
I just think, again, it's just like watching me back.
Nicola, they are married now.
Yeah, that was a shock.
Were you sad that you weren't at the wedding, Nicola?
No, because she's never congratulated us, and she never will. Me congratulating you would just be a lie.
What needs to happen before you can...
Take a week, it would be years down the line, I think.
Mad. The friend does not want to congratulate a friend, and she says she only do it after a few years down the line. A few years down the line, you probably won't be friends anymore. If these two are still together, you two won't be friends anymore. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I get it, you know, if a friend wants to obviously have her friends back, but you should still be for your friend regardless. There's no need to not be there for your friend, just what I'm saying. Nah, you always wish your friend the best, no matter what.
Everybody not the same, you know, like, if you have the bad experience, that's no way for the I am like same like your ex.
I'm the only one who's got the balls to say something.
Darling, I am the heartless for the anyone. I only have the heart for myself, so it's like, I don't even care what anyone is thinking.
To be fair, that's the attitude that you should have, though, really, truly, you know, when you're with someone, don't care about what anybody thinks. But at the same time, though, somebody that may be scamming you still wouldn't care about what anybody thinks. So there is that kind of, you know, funky bit about it.
Already billionaire about my love of the Sam. She's always the perfect at me. She's always good look after me.
I've heard all this shit before.
Ali, what do you like about her? Lovely. And my beautiful soulmate.
He was asked to name 3 things he liked about her, but he only really named 2. And yeah, they were very, very weak things to name.
That's it.
It's just exactly what I used to get told. It's just all too familiar for my liking.
Which is fine, but I think it's a bit too strong to compare the two, because is it a bit too strong? No, I'm gonna say it's a bit too strong to compare the two, you know, 2 different locations, 2 different approaches, you know what I mean? And you know, he's still here. Probably because he's not in the UK yet, but he's still there, you know what I mean? They are married now, and his family did pay for the wedding. Charlotte, you pay for your whole wedding, do you know what I mean? For the most part, you know what I'm saying? She didn't have to pay nothing for hers. So I think for me personally, the fact that the wedding was paid for by his family tells me that this is probably more genuine than we think.
I was in the relationship. You watched me go through it all, and you gave me the advice that I'm giving you now. Oh, jog on, you know, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Good night.
He couldn't even reel off 3 things he liked about you.
Just fake to you?
Yeah.
So who's care?
Yeah, so obviously he's screened and flipping freezes, you know what I mean? But it's a shame though that she's actually fallen out with her friend over this. So sad. Your friend is supposed to be there for you no matter what.
We lost him.
Oh, he's frozen.
Anything with the fucking Joanne. I never said
Don't
to
raise your
someone
voice
like,
at me.
give
Don't
me
raise your
money,
voice. Don't
do
swear.
this. Let me say
Oh, the
something.
mask is slipped, guys.
You cannot say to me like a...
I'll just say what I see.
Yeah, for the
I mean, it's a fair point. Just saying what she sees and just an opinion. That's it. Like I said, people who generally allow these things to get to them, usually it shows signs that maybe they are insecure in their relationship and their intentions.
Because no one sees us. No one sees the real life. Babe, no one sees the real shit. Fuck this. Fuck this. We're out. Fuck this shit.
Like, he loses his shit just like that. Don't come on a show if you don't want to listen to the opinions.
It is going like too much.
What else can we do apart from being married, and he sends money and we do everything, and the fact that he's not here, does that not just show that we don't give a fuck about like being in England right now?
I've been there. I've had my friends, my family.
Yeah, but he's not there because the visa hasn't come through for him to come yet, not because of what you're saying. So that's not really a good defense if you ask me personally.
Family, everyone at me, and I could not see it, and I hope it doesn't get that far. And I do hope to God that he is coming here for the right reasons. I just had to voice my opinion. I really do hope that it does work, and I hope that Ali does prove me wrong.
Listen, I hope Ali obviously proves everyone wrong too, do you know what I mean? You know, hopefully the relationship is genuine, hopefully it will go the distance that it needs to go to, but I guess this is something that we'll have to wait to find out if they return for another season or if we get update on social media, one of the two. But hey ho, either way though, the best of luck to every single couple here. I do generally feel like season 3 was the best season 90 Day Fiancé UK has had so far personally, you know what I mean? And to be fair, the tale was very, very calm, very, very subtle. But to be honest with you, I actually liked it, to be fair. It wasn't too much over the top. And he gave me a lot of things to really speak about that were needed to be speaking about, you know what I mean? Rather than, and there's less things to really point out, you know? But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.